Hello and welcome. This is Azure SQL Managed Instance comparison to Azure SQL Database. So quick show of hands, how many of you have worked with Azure SQL Database? And how many have been part of either the private or the public preview for Managed Instance? Okay, so those of you working with Azure SQL Database, you'll be pleasantly surprised when we get to talk about Managed Instance, where it has really surpassed what we're used to working with Azure SQL Database. So we're going to cover common features, things that are the same between Azure SQL Database, Elastic Pools, and Managed Instance. And then we'll focus on what is kind of unique to SQL Database, Elastic Pools, and then we'll dive deep into Managed Instance. So first, managed backups. For me, this was kind of difficult as a production DBA when I started looking at the Azure PaaS offerings. The fact that I'm no longer responsible for taking my backups. Anyone else kind of have that heartburn, that heartache? I mean, as a production DBA, my sole job is data recovery. If something happens, I get the data back, and you're saying I can't back up my databases? And I started early with Azure SQL Database back when the standard tier only allowed for 14 days of backup retention. So that was like a no-go. So today we have, with your Azure SQL Database, you have 3 tiers, your basic, standard, and premium. For your basic, you have 7 days of backup retention. Your standard and premium are 35 days. With Managed Instance, it's also 35 days. With that, if you need more than 35 days, they have this thing called the Azure long-term retention. They call it, it's been called a couple of different names, but you can get up to 10 years of backup retention for your databases. Dynamic data masking. How many's on SQL Server 2016 and leveraging all the new features? Right, I thought so. So dynamic data masking, this is a cool feature because it allows you to mask how data appears in the result set. So if you have credit card numbers, email addresses, phone numbers, any of data that you consider PII or PCI or some regulated data set that you want to protect, you can mask how the data appears in the result set, and that is a database level feature. So there's no actual physical change to the data set. So you just apply a masking rule. It's instantaneous. The only users that are not impacted by the masking rules are the ones that you exclude. So that's kind of neat. You turn it on, these users can see full unmasked data. Everyone else, it's masked. Pretty neat. That's been available in Azure SQL Database for years and made it into the box version of 2016. So this is available to you on 2016 and up, as well as row-level security. So you want to take things a step further. Now I want to restrict who can see certain data within the result set, the table. So let's say I have a table that has 1 million rows, 200,000 are employee data. My entry-level employees at the financial institution do not need to be able to look up employee data. I can set a rule that only certain users can see employee data. So that's your row-level security. Again, that's at the database tier. No change to the data. There's no additional things you have to script in your application. You apply it at the database level, and it takes effect. Caution here. With dynamic data masking, would you want to mask a numeric value with a random number? So I came across a customer that was doing this. And some people may refer to that as like fake news, because you query the data. I'm expecting a numeric value, say dollar amount for some product. If I'm looking and it's like $9 for real, and I'm masking that with a random number, and it comes back and says it's $27, if I don't know that that's bogus data, I'm making business decisions on bad numbers. So when you start playing with dynamic data masking, make sure that you choose a masking function that lets your end user know that this is fake masked data. Same with row-level security. I'm querying a table. I don't know that I'm only getting 80% of the values or the results of that table. So just use a little bit of caution when you start implementing these features, because they can change the scope of the data set that you're looking at. Take security a step further, always encrypted. This is one of my favorite features that came with a box version for 2016. Again, we've had it in Azure for a long time. This allows you to encrypt the data in the database engine. So we've had transparent data encryption since SQL Server 2008, and that's nice and cool. You can check the box that my data is encrypted. It's encrypted at rest, but the data is still plain text in the engine. So if somebody was able to compromise a user account and query the database, they could still see your data. If I came in with a forklift and took the storage away, TD is going to protect it because it's encrypted unless I have the asymmetric key. I can't decrypt the data. This allows you to protect the data in the engine itself. Unless you have the encryption key, you're not decrypting that data. So that includes you as the data professionals. If you don't have the key, you're not seeing the encrypted data. Only the application server, web servers that you've provisioned the key to. Transparent data encryption, I said, been around since 2008. It's available in Azure SQL Database, Elastic Pools, Managed Instance. It is on by default. That's kind of new. So those of you that have been playing with Azure SQL Database for a while, previously we had to go check the box. It was literally, you want to enable TDE, check the radio button, boom, it's done. Now it's on by default. You provision a new database, TDE is enabled. Threat detection. Anyone familiar with this? This is kind of recently new. So with your threat detection, risks that are going on, people trying to penetrate the Azure data centers, your particular product, maybe it's something with the version of Windows Server that you're running on your IaaS, whether it be an Azure SQL Database Managed Instance, you subscribe to this. This is licensed per node within the product. So per virtual machine, per Azure SQL Database server or its container, per instance of Azure SQL Managed Instance. $15 a month. You subscribe to this. There is a basic free version, and then you have your premium or expanded version. What you'll do is you'll get a report of known vulnerabilities or things that are coming risk to your product. That report tells you what the risk is and how you can mitigate that risk. Some companies are paying millions of dollars to vendors to get this type of report, and we now have the option within the Azure framework. So to me, this is big, something we need to take a look at. There is a booth just across from the Azure migration side. That's the Azure security. They can do a full demo, dashboard, neat, nice stuff. All right, Azure Active Directory integration. I mean, this one's kind of straightforward. If you're provisioning Azure SQL Database, Elastic Pools, Managed Instance, we don't want to micromanage SQL accounts. We still want to leverage Active Directory that we have on premises. It's easy to extend your local Active Directory to Azure Active Directory. So full integration support, compliance. Who's in a regulated organization? Just about all of us. I mean, from healthcare, finance, insurance, we have examiners, auditors. The Compliance Center, so you can take a look at the Azure Trust Center and see all the regulations or the compliance regulations that Microsoft has certified their data centers with. So whether you're healthcare, PCI, they have dedicated government data centers. You can geek out on this as much as you want. You go to the Azure Trust Center, drill down to your particular regulation and look at all the different compliance stuff that they've implemented. Caution here, just because Microsoft is secure and compliant doesn't mean that you can just lift and shift your data. Don't expose your SQL servers to the World Wide Web by opening port 1433, right? I mean, you still have to do your controls and make sure you have your firewalls and configure everything to be secure just like you would in any other data center. All right, all these things are highly available and scalable. That's the cool thing about the Azure resources, right? I mean, you have a workload on your Azure SQL Database. You need to increase the workload, you can just dial up to a higher tier. Managed Instance is the same way. You can scale up from 8 vCore to 16 to 24 as your workload increases. Anyone using in-memory OLTP, also known as Hackathon? All right, yet again, there's like 100 people here and no hands went up. If you decide to use it, it's available in the premium tier for Azure SQL Database, as well as in Managed Instance. Performance recommendations. I only listed Force Plan here because currently and I say it currently as in last week, we only had Force Plan available in Azure Managed Instance. So your Force Plan, the cardinality estimator issues that we've had. So if you've read the documentation for 2017, you've probably seen the tidbits for automatic plan correction. Well, it's known as Force Plan, so you can automatically force plan in Azure SQL Database, your Elastic Pools, and Managed Instance, as well as SQL Server 2017. So if you've had cardinality issues with multiple regressions, so multiple execution plans, where one's good for a certain query, the other maybe not so much, and you've had issues with the new CE, you can let SQL Server automatically choose the best execution plan and force that. So this is kind of the fix for the cardinality issue. And Query Store. So some of you raised your hand for SQL Server 2016. Have you dove into Query Store? I mean, it's a phenomenal product. So Query Store is going to tell you tons of information about your the queries that are executing, their runtime statistics. So you can search for your highest cost queries based upon CPU, based on disk, memory consumption, recompile times, the query that's been executed the most. I mean, all of that data is being stored for you in the query store. So if you're not familiar with Query Store, we do have a vendor here called Pluralsight. There's a course out there from Aaron Stellato on Query Stores, 2+ hours deep dive into the tool. Definitely want to take advantage of it. Again, that also shipped with SQL Server 2016. It's been in Azure for a very long time. So you're noticing a trend here. Everything I said that's available in 2016 and above, we've had in Azure first. And it is also enabled by default in Azure. It's not on-premises. So on-premises, SQL Server 2016 and up, you have to go and enable this feature. It is per database. So you turn it on per database. So what's unique for Azure SQL Database? All right, bad news, right? We're production DBAs, you're responsible for instances. We don't have a SQL Server agent, so there's not one built in. The good news is you can still leverage SQL Server agent on premises or on SQL Server on an Azure VM. We do have Azure Services, which is Azure Automation, Elastic Jobs, that you can use to schedule maintenance and other operations within your Azure SQL databases and Elastic pools. Database mail is not supported. So this isn't really a huge showstopper for any client that I've had that we've done migrations. The couple that they've had other ad hoc processes where they're querying a table, if a certain condition exists, then they'll get an email notification because they need to go do something. We've been able to mitigate that using on-premises or SQL Server on an Azure VM. The number one showstopper has been no cross-database query support. So many third-party applications have multiple databases and they all need to talk to each other. Azure SQL Database is not conducive to that. There's a couple of workarounds with like Elastic Query and things, but again, that requires some architecture stuff going on. So it just hasn't worked for a lot of applications. New built applications that are built for Azure, or you have a web application that was single database, this is perfect. Instance level trace flags or anything requiring SP configure. So any of your instance level settings that you would need to change on your instance on premises, you can't do with Azure SQL Database. I mean, let's think about it. Azure SQL Database is database scoped configuration. So Microsoft, when they got in the room and started whiteboarding, what do we need for a database? We need a database. We need to add users. We need people to be able to query. You put data in, take data out. So not all this instance level stuff that you may also need, right? We have two pricing models. You have DTU, so Database Transaction Unit, and vCore. vCore is kind of a change that was announced recently after managed instance became a thing. With vCore, it also allows you to use your on-premises license, so you can use this Azure hybrid benefit. Before, with DTU, your SQL Server license is bundled into the compute cost. So it's whether you have on-premise license or not, when you move to a DTU, it's a single fee. A lot of clients, they were moving workloads from on-premises to Azure. They no longer needed those on-premises license, so they were kind of out. So at least with the vCore, you can transfer those licenses and reuse those using the Azure hybrid benefit. No direct backup and restore to Azure SQL Database. I mean, that's been the biggest pain point, right? I mean, other than cross-database query support. I mean, just getting the data there. I've got a 40 gigabyte database. You tell me I have to export to a backpack and import, or I've got to use transactional replication, but the database doesn't support transactional replication because I don't have a primary key on every table. So it's kind of been a painful process. What about Elastic Pools? So everything I just said about Azure SQL Database, so that's your singleton databases. Elastic Pools is a grouping of DTUs known as eDTUs, so Elastic Database Transaction Units. So what you're going to do here is you're going to have a pool of resources that the individual databases can pull from. So they can now scale up, scale down within that pool, so they can consume more resources as needed. And so it really simplifies your task as an administrator, so you're not micromanaging individual databases. That's really the biggest benefit for your Elastic Pools. So if you're managing multiples, you're really going to end up finding that you need an Elastic Pool to save you time, save money. Pricing is based on eDTUs and vCores as well. So again, you can ship those on-premises license. and it definitely simplifies management. All right, what about managed instance? So all the things I just said that are limitations from Azure SQL Database, we don't really have. So from here, we can do a direct migration from SQL Server 2005. So you restore a database from 2005, it's going to change your compatibility level from 9.0 to 100. So that being said, you have backwards compatibility in Azure's managed instance all the way to 2008. Cross-database queries are supported. That's huge. So all of you that could not move to Azure SQL Database because of that, managed instance supports it. All your databases are on the same server. SQL Server Agent is built in, as well as database mail supported, as well as Service Broker, Change Data Capture, CLR. We have managed instance auditing, data encryption in motion. So you've just seen all the other security features from dynamic data masking, row level security, always encrypted, TDE. Now we need to encrypt the data in flight. You can do that as well. So when you hear people say that managed instance is one of the most secure SQL Server environments, it truly is. Pricing here is pretty much, it's vCore, but we have two models here. We have general purpose and we have business critical. So what's the difference in business critical and general purpose? Your general purpose is really where most of your workloads will fit. You have fast storage, it's remote SSD. I don't know right now the limit in public preview is 8 terabytes. That should change for GA. I don't have a definitive on that. You can go anywhere from 8 vCore up to 80 vCores. There's a Gen 4 processor, a Gen 5 processor. Your Gen 4 goes up to 24 cores, and those are physical cores. Your Gen 5 are hyper-threaded, goes up to 80. Your Gen 4, you have 7 gig of RAM per vCore. Your Gen 5 is 5.5 gig per vCore. Your general purpose, you have built-in HA. So your compute and your storage are separate. Anything that's been committed to disk is guaranteed. Your failover is basically a live migration. So very little, if any, downtime or hiccup for your end user if you have to fail over. Your business critical, this is for your high HA needs and really higher performant. It's local SSD. In public preview, your limitation, it was 1 terabyte of storage. Again, that should change when it goes GA. Same deal, 8 vCore up to 80 vCore. But your storage is local SSD. So your IOPS are up to 200,000 IOPS compared to 7,500 IOPS per data file on your general purpose. I mean, all the things, pretty much all the things from Azure SQL Database that would keep you from being able to migrate have been eliminated. So with managed instance, the goal for the developer team is 100% surface area compatibility with on-premises. So what I was able to do in all of my testing, such as database mail, I have a script that I use that connects to Gmail for the outbound SMTP. I ran my same script I use for customers, for testing that I do to test connectivity. Was able to send a test email, was able to configure SQL alerts, was able to set up a notification for a job failure, and I was getting those email notifications. Scheduling my index maintenance, so taking care of index fragmentation, statistics updates, same scripts I use on premises, I was able to use in a managed instance. The look and feel from on premises, it looks and feels the same way. So your instance level settings changes. So where Azure SQL Database, you can't change, add trace flags, change min-max over memory, cost threshold for parallelism, max DOP, all those things. You still manage all of that in managed instance. What you don't have is a server you can RDP into. But for Management Studio, connecting into your instance and seeing system databases, you want to change TempDB. I mean, it's already sized multiple files, but you want to make additional changes, you can do that. Compatibility levels, you can change. Correlation, you can change. You can even back up managed instance, copy only. What are you going to do with it? You can restore it to another managed instance. Managed instance is vNext. So you can't, even though you can do a copy-only level backup to blob storage, you can't restore that back to on-premises because it's vNext. But what you can do, transactional replication support for Azure SQL Database. So you can, it can be a subscriber, but can't be a publisher. Managed instance, it can be a publisher or subscriber. So you can set up transactional replication from managed instance back to on-premises. This is huge. I mean, all of the things that were a roadblock for migrating to Azure SQL Database have pretty well been lifted in Managed Instance. All right, so summary, we covered common features, things that all of them cover. Testing, all right. So we talked about common features, Azure SQL Database, Elastic Pools, Managed Instance. Hopefully you're excited about Managed Instance. There's a booth back here for Azure SQL Database. We'll talk about Managed Instance there as well. With that, evaluate the session, enjoy your conference, make sure you share business cards, meet new people. I've got stickers and business cards up here if you like the tech tattoos. Thank you all for coming out.